hope this isn't too repetitious. Yesterday somebody told me, you know, a year ago when you were going around campaigning, I heard you give your presentation 6 times, and at least I didn't contradict myself, I was told, so that was good. It's a pleasure to be here, and I look forward to the wonderful opportunity I have to get out into the field and visit your chapters. I won't be able to get to all of them, unfortunately. You seem to schedule your conferences in the same dates frequently. But I do look forward to those opportunities to meet more ALA members and members of your chapters and hear what is on their minds. I was asked to talk about presidential initiatives, and one that I think would be of special interest to this group is in the advocacy realm. The role of an ALA president is to be the spokesperson for ALA, not to be the spokesperson for one's own personal agenda. And my predecessors for many, many years now have built an incredibly strong program of advocacy in this organization, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. And one of the pieces that I think we're missing is something that the situation in my own state of Virginia brings to mind. We have the Virginia Library Association. It's not necessarily completely unified. I think there's some fissures along type of library lines. There's the Virginia Educational Media Association, then the Virginia Educational Association has common interests, and we're all going to be running to the legislature in the next 2 months, arguing our own cases, our own special issues. For example, the Library of Virginia, the state library, provides databases statewide. Anybody who has a public library card has access to these databases. That's facing a cut. So too, VIVA, the Academic Database Purchasing Consortium, provides the same databases to every community college that the big research universities get. That's facing cuts. We don't have a coordinated effort to explain how all this goes together. Then Virginia Educational Media Association has its own agenda. And I think that we need to come up with ways to put together a united front and help legislators and other decision makers understand that we're all in this together, that library issues reinforce one another across the types of libraries. And the Skills Act is a great illustration of that. The Skills Act would not quite guarantee, but it would strongly motivate school districts to have a certified school media library specialist in every school, and a library in that school as well. Because of No Child Left Behind and its exclusion of the librarians from the requirements that schools must provide, administrators trying to meet NCBL requirements have eliminated school library positions. When that happens, it has a negative effect upon the public library, because where else are those students going to go but to their public library? The public library can't do the same things that the school library does because they can't be in the classroom every day the way the school librarian can. Then when I get them at a university, we have remedial work to do because these students haven't had decent library experience. So what I would like to do, and it's just wonderful that we have the new Office for Library Advocacy, working with them, develop a toolkit which will help these organizations within a single state get together on a united agenda and explain the importance of all of that agenda, and not that you can pick and choose to try to make your constituents happy. So that's one major project. Another area I'm very concerned about is opening up new opportunities for members to participate in, contribute to, and benefit from their association. If you looked at the Diversity Counts report that came out a year ago, October, it told us that we're a graying profession, we're a mostly white profession, and that we're losing people. This was the big surprise of it. Not that there are going to be lots of retirements by 2020. In fact, more than half of the librarians practicing in 2000 will reach retirement age by 2020. That's going to be a lot of retirements. About 30% of the workforce at that point was under age 45, but accounted for 40% of the attrition. We don't know where they're going. We don't know why they're leaving. We can't afford to wait for the research to answer those questions. We need to find new ways to engage those people so that they'll stay in the profession, so that they'll stay members of ALA. At the same time, lots of things have changed in the environment around us. There are lots of new communications methods, ways to share information, ways to share everything anybody would not want to know about yourself, plus everything they might want to know through Facebook and the like. And so my advisory committee has been coming up with ways that won't provide all of the answers, but we hope it'll provide enough experiments that ALA will have a good sense of direction on how to provide these new methods of communication. I have gotten a lot of feedback through the new members roundtable on what they're looking for, and what a lot of our, especially NMRT members, are looking for is ways to form small ad hoc groups around similar interests. And they don't want to belong to just one group, they want to belong to lots of groups. And this doesn't have the same structure that ALA has. It's much more fluid. And how many of you have ever tried to use ALA's online community software? Okay, too many of you heard too much about it, I guess. Well, the good news is ALA is moving towards some open source things that will not only make it easier for members to participate in these online communities, but make it easier for members to create new ones. And it'll tie into their Facebook pages and other open source software things out there. Jenny Levine has been bringing all kinds of fresh new ideas about how ALA can communicate to members. We want to build on those in some ways. One of the things that we want to do is create a salon culture in ALA. By that we mean that we would have fixed regular times when anybody who wanted to could join in interesting conversations online with interesting people, and we would attract undoubtedly some of the people in this room who have special expertise or especially well known for something, not to lead a discussion or give a lecture, but to be the catalyst for a discussion that many people could participate in. We'd also have opportunities for members to have direct dialogue with ALA leaders at that time. And if any of your states are doing this already and doing it well, please let us know so we don't reinvent the wheel. We'd like to borrow from you with your successes. If you go through the ALA website, there are opportunity after opportunity after opportunity for continuing education and other ways to get involved. But you have to go through the whole ALA website to find them all. We'd like to create a Craigslist sort of access, one place where you can find all of these opportunities listed. We're also going to try some on-conference sessions at the annual conference where it's the participants who decide what the topic will be. And all of this additional participation isn't necessarily electronic. We saw in Washington last summer that people really do value the face-to-face contact that they get through the conferences. And if you've ever tried to get a program put on at annual conference and you weren't a member of a committee or you weren't a member of a board of a division or something like that, you probably weren't able to get it off the ground and approved. We're going to reserve some undetermined number of program slots for grassroots members to come together and make proposals, and through a juried process choose which of those programs we'll be able to put into those slots. And one of the rules will be if any two people in a group that puts in a proposal serve on the same committee anywhere in ALA, they've rendered themselves ineligible. We want these to be true grassroots proposals. We're working on other things that we'll be providing more information about as July approaches and my term begins. And meanwhile, I welcome your ideas on how we can help make ALA a richer organization for its members.